With the rise of fast fashion and trends, we tend to use our individuality and uniqueness in style. Today, we're going to be talking about individuality in fashion and style. Hi, guys, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Today, we're going to be talking about something a little different, which is finding your individuality in style and fashion. Social media gives us access to the lives of millions of people with a click of a button, which is not a bad thing if you're consuming those information appropriately. However, when misused, we end up getting occupied with other people's lives and style, and so something that should have been an inspiration turns into imitation. We end up copying each other's styles and taste, and in the process, losing our individuality, our uniqueness, our style. Also, trends keep getting shorter and shorter as the years go by, which makes it difficult to keep up with. If you want to be authentic in your style and in the way you approach fashion, you have to, in a way, not follow trends or follow trends in a way that suits your style, in a way that fits your individuality, if that makes sense. Trends are not the enemy because things trend for a reason, but it becomes bad when you hop on every trend, whether it fits your style, your fashion sense, your uniqueness. That is when it becomes bad. However, there's a way to, like, a loophole to that. If you're going to follow every trend, make sure you tweak it in a way that suits you and you bring your personality into it, basically. So let's talk about finding your individuality. The first thing is be true and authentic to yourself. It is very easy to get carried away in fashion, especially with things popping out so fast. Every season, something new is up. If you want to stay grounded and authentic and true to yourself, you have to be honest about who you are. In essence, you have to know who you are and how you like to represent yourself in fashion, how you take fashion or how you consume fashion. If you're true and honest with yourself, it will be way easier and faster for you to find your personal style. But if you're just going along with the crowd or what majority of people like, you might not really be authentic with yourself. So, in order to stand out and find yourself and individuality in fashion, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about what you like, what you dislike, no matter what the public opinion might be. Also, you have to experiment. Expose yourself to different things that might be out of your comfort zone. As we all know, in order for you to grow, you have to get out of your comfort zone, and that includes fashion as well. Try as much as possible to expose yourself to different styles, different ways of putting outfits together, different aesthetics in fashion. Experimenting is also a way to be true to yourself, to find your style. You have to experiment with different textures, you have to experiment with different styles, you have to experiment with different colors, you have to experiment with different ways of putting an outfit together. You don't always have to stick to one way of doing things. And in order to do that, you also have to be true to yourself, which is the first point. If you like a way you put an outfit together, everybody else might not like it. As long as you feel good and are happy with the way you pair that outfit together, do that. That is a way of being true to yourself and being authentic with yourself. Also, do not be afraid of being different or standing out. Guys, if you're being honest with yourself, most times the person or the style that you like or the person that you think is stylish, 9 times out of 10, that person stands out. That person is not fitting into the norm. So, in order to find your individuality in fashion, you have to not be scared of what people think. You have to get people's opinion out of your head. You have to be unconventional in the way you do things or in the way you pair your outfits together. And also, if you like more basic things or the clean aesthetic or pairing things in a more simpler way, that is you. Be true to yourself as well in doing that. You might just be a simple person or an introvert or someone who just likes what everyone else is doing. And that is fine as long as you're true to yourself and you're not succumbing to what people or society think in the fashion world or in the styling world or even in the world at large. Well, today we're sticking to fashion. So, yeah, that's why I'm referring to fashion. And these tips can also lead to other aspects of your life. But today we're sticking to fashion, as I mentioned earlier. The last thing I want to talk about is to be intentional. Be intentional in the way you show up to the world. First, be intentional in the way you show up to the world through your outfits. Be intentional in the way you show up with yourself. Make sure in whenever you're showing up, whether it is by yourself or with people, make sure you're intentional. Make sure you're intentional about your look, your accessories, how you present yourself to the world. Because, guys, people judge whether we like it or not, especially when they're meeting you for the first time. Whatever situation or whatever environment you're presenting yourself, show up how you want the people to treat you. Be intentional. And that doesn't mean bending over backwards to please people. That does not mean being a people pleaser. Being intentional with yourself means that you respect yourself, you honor yourself, you honor the body that God has given you. Remember, your body is a temple of the Lord. So when you are showing up with intentionality, you're respecting that body, respecting the temple of the Holy Spirit. So make sure that you appear or show up in a way that you want to be treated. For example, you cannot be going to a more corporate setting and you are in your sweatsuit. People are not going to take you seriously, and you shouldn't fault them because that is how you showed up. That is how you appeared, and people are by default going to treat you that way. So, in whatever way, not because of what people think, the firstly for yourself, make sure you show up with intentionality. Make sure you show up looking good, and that does not mean doing the most. Whatever good feels like or looks like to you, you know, you have to be honest with yourself. Do that and show up with intentionality. Those are the few tips I feel will help in finding your individuality in fashion and style. We've come to the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also drop tips in finding your individuality that might help everyone. So guys, thank you. See you on the next episode. Bye.